enjoying this, make sure if you check them out. This is just a new podcast that I want to start doing where I connect with other martial artists of other styles, other systems, other concepts and ideologies. I can't guarantee that I'll have some of the people that I like or don't like on here, but you never know. I'm open up to a healthy discussion debate. If you guys are enjoying this content, just click it, watch it, listen to it, share it. It's on all podcast formats and also our YouTube as well too. All right, we have today the YouTube channel founder, guru, Sifu, Christoph, I can't forget your Trish, Christoph
Yes.
Trish. He is the owner, operator, lead instructor. You're the guy from Kung Fu Sthenics over on YouTube. The description
Yes,
of your
that's
YouTube channel is you entertain and engage with challenges and martial arts knowledge you don't find anywhere else on YouTube. With Kung Fu Sthenics, you want to inspire people to live healthier, more active, and better through strength training and martial arts. You're going to cover martial arts tutorials, reactions, how-to videos, and many more things. Want to start? And if anyone wants to start their martial arts journey to be a better body and happier life, or if they're generally interested in martial arts and weightlifting, then make sure they contact you all over the place on social media. You have a YouTube channel, Instagram, TikTok, all this is great. Kung Fu Sthenics is the channel. And one of the things that I saw, that was why I titled this video, was from your Instagram, you have how to level up you help level up your martial arts. So number one, I really appreciate you taking the time out to talk. This is it's Saturday night by you because you're on the other side of the globe.
Yeah.
And yeah, you're here. I think you froze for a second, but maybe we'll catch that. We can hear you just perfectly.
Okay, that's fine.
Welcome. Tell everybody about a 360-degree view of who you are, and let's talk about leveling up martial arts and all that great stuff.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Hello to all the listeners. As Izzo said, I'm Christoph. I'm running the Kung Fu Sthenics martial arts channels. I'm actually from Switzerland, and I've been doing Kung Fu, in particular Hung Gar Kung Fu, for about 4 years now, and I can honestly say that it completely changed my life. It really did. And what I found out and what I'm going to find out is just what I want to spread around the world, because I know there's a lot of, especially in the Kung Fu community, bullshit going on, unfortunately, but I know there's also good stuff, and I really want to promote the good stuff, and I see myself in this position where I combine like both things that I'm really excited about, martial arts and also fitness, because I love to lift heavy weights from A to B. And I think they go perfectly together. And that's why I'm showing this. That's why I'm doing it.
That's interesting. I always get accused because I love lifting hefty weights. Heavy weights I always have. Most people are confused with my background starting from a wrestler, lifting weights. Why do I do traditional martial arts? I have to assume you're younger than me. How old are you, if you don't mind my asking?
Yeah, 25.
Okay, so you're 25, and your generation, I mean, eats, sleeps, and breathes and was raised on mixed martial arts. Why, being an athlete, you're into fitness. Why did you choose a traditional? I mean, Hung Gar is great. Why did you choose a traditional martial art? Why didn't you do MMA?
That's actually something I don't really know. When I knew I wanted to start martial arts again, I did already when I was a little kid, so 14, 15 years old, I would say. So there was this Aikijitsu dojo in my city, or not in my city, in my village, because I live on the countryside, and for 20 kilometers, so to speak, no other martial arts gym was available, so all the kids would go there. So naturally, because the parents cannot afford like to travel twice a week to the city, right? So every kid was there, and I enjoyed it pretty much, despite having like maybe some precautions for Aikijitsu or Aikido, whatever. It was a good time. But I didn't stick to it, and then all the puberty came in, all the other things like smoking, drinking, other fancy stuff kids do. And then I knew at one point, so I need to make a change now, because if I'm not going to make a change, then it's going to go in a really worse direction. So heavily overweight, drinking, partying twice, 3 times a week. And I knew back then with my girlfriend that she was doing some sort of meditational kung fu. I can't remember honestly. But then I looked it up. I went to Google and searched something like Shaolin or Kung Fu, and then I saw, okay, there are some like dojos or kwans, how you call it, in the main city. And then I hesitated for a little bit longer. And what really made the impact then was because I was a child of diagnosed HDAS, if that is really something that is to debate, I would say. But my mother would take me to a so-claimed monk that would do some exercises with me, that would do some breathing methods with me, and that really calmed me down. And this experience of having like I really see the results of what this man was doing with me, with my body, with my energy, told me, okay, maybe it's worthwhile going into this direction and see where it goes. I mean, I just went to Google, the first link, okay, this is the school, I'm going to sign up for the first trial training, and let's see where it goes. And here I am now, so to speak. I could have easily gotten into MMA for sure.
Yeah, I'm just it's motivational to see the younger generation still put an appreciation into traditional martial arts. I like your criticism on how you wind up reviewing other content. It was a reminder to get you on, because I wanted you on for a while, but it was a reminder when you did a review of the video that I did. God, it was 8 years ago. It was 8 years and like 40 pounds ago of me doing a live sparring. And it was, when I watched it, I didn't expect, like any like heavy criticism, but I was actually really impressed that you gave support to the methodology of the sparring that I had done with Kevin at the time, with no gloves, going at it. Again, we don't see that from athletes who are in your level of shape, your youth, and then we see like, oh, put on the gloves, go in the ring, bang it out, and there's just no there's no class to it to a degree. So as you've journeyed on, why are you so? It seems you're very, very, very passionate about, again, traditional martial arts, and you're very open to hearing and seeing. You don't have this sucks, this doesn't work, and you're not as opinionated as I am. So how are you able to be a young, aggressive man with a mindset? You're still very balanced.
Again, I don't know. I don't want to be somebody, or I don't want to put this image out of a martial artist that says, oh, this is bad, this sucks, this is not good, and mine is the thing that works. Because I deeply think that we can learn something from every style. Even if it's the worst bullshit or crap, maybe there's something we can learn. From some styles, a lot more than from others, but it is worth to have a look at least, and don't judge it for the beginning. That's what I'm trying to be. That's what I'm trying to show. And this is basically, my way to live in the martial arts. That doesn't mean that I don't critique stuff.
How has your exposure to the martial arts community been? Have you been well received by other styles and other things that you critique?
It depends what kind of content I post. I think you know this, but when you post like this traditional demonstration, that is not well accepted in modern communities like TikTok and Instagram, because the people then, oh, nobody would punch like this. So, okay, maybe that what we showed, or that what our master showed, was about something else. Maybe it was about, I don't know, some certain principles or techniques that happens just in this situation. So it's easy to say, okay, that wouldn't work in a fight when you don't do the art itself. But I also have to critique, or in my opinion, have to critique traditional martial arts when they're showing people stuff. Because in modern days, it doesn't work like on this classical DVDs that you could buy back in the 80s, back in the 90s, when I wasn't even born. I have those DVDs, I watch them, and it's terrible. You can't do this in the modern days. You have to adapt. And if traditional martial arts don't adapt, I think sadly they're going to be wiped out. That's what I'm trying to do.
Yeah, you brought up a great point on the video you did critiquing me, where it's like the amount of available content. We didn't have this when I was younger. I had to I forget, it was VHS tapes, and then he sadly passed away, Joseph Simnett, who was Key Fighting Concepts. I think I'm as old as him now when I first discovered him. He did Wing Chun, Silat, him, and he had Addie Hernandez, who was his wife at the time. You know, they would do, and he Wind and Rock training facility, I think was his. I think it's on the west of the United States. I think it was like in the Colorado or somewhere, Colorado, New Mexico, Arizona. I don't know, but it was this gorgeous facility where he had like 7 or 8 wooden dummies outside, and the view was mountains everywhere. And he would train people with knife on the dummies and this and that. And that was like VHS tapes. And then you advance to the DVDs came out, and you know, it wasn't like point and click. You had so much to do. Like that's how I learned one of the forms when my Sifu wasn't around. Like my first Sifu would come from Iowa once a month on a Saturday. And we would train for 4 or 5 hours on a Saturday with him, go to dinner. And so if you got like a Tan punch, you spent the entire month trying to perfect that. I got a little bit impatient. So I had to order books. I got Sam Kwok's, one of his books. And it would be page. You'd have 4 pictures on a page, and you'd look and you go, okay, here's position 1, 2, 3, and it'd be 4 pictures. Okay. And the amount of work you had to learn to do the forms was ridiculous. But so you commented on that, where people have more free content today available than ever, and they complain about having to pay. So I guess one point of view is, because this is your generation, where do you think the value of martial arts is going, especially when and I've talked about this in a recent video I did. You have Sifu Sifu Fong, Francis Fong, who is putting out 1-minute clips of Wing Chun and their training drills that those of us who specifically know the art know that that's training. That's not the actual application. It'd be the same as a boxer doing a speed bag and then saying, oh, that's boxing. Do you think that we are putting too much free content out there? Or if we put out that 1-minute video, then we also are obligated to put out the hour-long video explaining that 1-minute video, but then we're not charging for it. So is there a conundrum with all the free content that we're putting out, and then are we damaging our martial arts, or are we making the culture better?
I think we are damaging it a little bit, yes, because I mean, what it takes is just like this motion to go to the next video. Yes. And I think we as creators or as martial arts creators have like the obligation to make clear what we show. And if you make clear what you show, people can only judge you about this when you show it clearly. So there are a lot of videos where you don't see people talk or explain or just put some text on, this is for this and this and this, and not for this, or in the description of the video, whatever. So this is the obligation of the curator to do this. But nevertheless, I mean, when you want to spread martial arts, I mean, the tools, the internet, social media, why not use it? I mean, it would be ridiculous to not use it, right? I mean, it's free reach for everybody who wants to say something, for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, we're damaging it, but we should also use it in a sense.
Can we learn online? People have asked me for years why I don't teach online, and all of my content has always been for free, always. And that is in fact the mentality of free. Like I never understood it. My second Sifu, $25,000. I think I paid him over a 4+ year period, and that was private lessons 3 times a week. That was class. That was me driving all the way down to the city and having to park and gas, all that stuff. Yeah. I paid a lot of money to wind up really learning in depth. So when I first started teaching and I owned a gym, the criticism I got is why are you charging us for class lessons, and then you're filming some of the class lessons and putting it up online for free? And I'm like, this is business. So when I fell into all right, you can't pay this month, come on in and train. And that might close my gym down because I couldn't afford it because I was letting people train for free. I have to wonder the new avenue I'm taking in is I stopped teaching free content on YouTube and I'm going to a paid platform because I do think that we are devaluing the content that we're putting out But then again, there are so many of us that have said, dude, we have given you decades, I mean, well, over 10 years of free material, and now it's time for us to have the value created in it. What is the student's mindset that do you think that those who are just absorbing the free content and not, because money's energy, right? We have to give that energy back into something. Do you think that they're not getting the same value by not paying for the worth of what they're getting as a student?
So that's something I thought about. I'm thinking about starting to work with people who want to get in shape. So like people to coach in the fitness scene. And I could do this for free because I have a job. I have a good paid job in the engineering business, but I could also charge something. So what I have to think now is when I'm going to work with you, what is it worth for you to work with me? So when you pay like $50, $100 per session, we go hit the gym, I motivate you and so on, give you a plan, give you a nutrition plan and so on. Is it going to be better for your motivation if you do this and you know you don't have to pay for it, or you're actually going to lose money? So when you, or not losing money, but you invested money that you earned the hard way while working. And I think this clash, it is a clash from traditional point of view to modern days. Because as you explained, my Sifu also needed to fly to Hong Kong to his Sifu to learn. I mean, nobody's going to do this in the or at least 99% of the people are not going to do this in the modern days. They're not flying around the whole earth just to learn something. That's just not going to happen anymore. And it's, I don't have a solution for this. It's just a fine line where to draw it. But I also want to take on the thing that you said, can you learn it online? I would say yes, to a certain degree. You can only learn the basic steps. So my school also has an online program, but just until like an intermediate level. So we have all the color belts in our school, and just until the intermediate level, you can learn from home, but then you need to get yourself a partner because then applications come in, drills come in, fighting comes in. And without this, you are not learning it the right way. And I'm not going to stay away from that. That's my hard opinion. You need a partner for this. 100%. And that's why you cannot learn it on your own.
100%. I didn't know you were an engineer, so that's heavily analytical. Very, I don't know if it's a right or left brain. I can't remember which one, but that is critical. That is, you guys are perfectionists. You would mostly think that that's difficult for somebody to structure. I could see you just eating up and just enjoying it crazy. Like when you learn a form, you're going to learn the all the aspects of the form, and it's really going to resonate with you. But when you apply it, you know that Kung Fu in application, it's messy and it's not what it looks like when we train forms. How does your analytical mind, the engineer mind, accept breaking outside of the structure of martial arts to make it your own? Did it improve it? Did it make it better? Consequently, did your Kung Fu improve your engineering mind? How do those two live together?
It lives pretty well, actually, because what I have is an analytical mindset, because that's what I'm trained to do. And because of that, I'm maybe thinking at some other things, and I'm asking my instructor different things. Okay, so when we do this drill here, so okay, we sparred, it didn't work out, but maybe this, is it this? And then he says yes or no. And some other people maybe don't ask these questions because they don't look at it from an analytical point. I mean, what are you doing when you translate forms into fighting? You take every single step, you analyze it, what could it be, what is it used for, and then you try it out. And that's just basic analysis right away, right? So that helps.
No, that's fantastic, because I know the like I said, engineers, you guys are perfectionists. You guys are really, really, really laser focused in on everything you do, and I have to wonder how the free of it goes. Talk about Hung Gar a bit. Explain Hung Gar for the listening audience, and what it is and why it's so. Why did you just learn that and just not go into the martial art? Why are you so passionate about Hung Gar?
As far as I know, it gives a very good overview of fighting. What is lacking is ground fighting, or most part of ground fighting. This would be something like BJJ. But the mindset of the Hung Gar people is not going to the ground. And I know there's some debate about this one, not going to the ground or not willing to go to the ground. Should you learn it either way or not? Yeah. As I said, it's to debate. But what Hung Gar basically is, as far as I know, is you have one side that is the classical term, like low stances, strong low kicks, not high kicks, and strong hard blocks and punches. This is like what you tell people. The other side is when you look at actual fighting and actual Lei Tai fighting, how it's called, which is like, the Lei Tai area, I'm not sure if you're familiar with this term, but the Lei Tai area is just basically a square. Mm-hmm. In the old days, it was elevated, and the people would fight on this area. And it was basically stand your ground. So when you push the other from the platform, you have won, because you get injury or you get injured when you fall from the platform. So it's called Lei Tai. And when you watch Lei Tai fights online on YouTube, then you see it looks like almost kickboxing when you don't know what is going on. So it looks like messy kickboxing, and that's also what people comment, because they don't know or they don't see what's going on. But all the subtle little details, then that's what Hung Gar really is.
No, that's the problem is you do, why are you just kickbox? You always get that back on it. Yeah, I know. I respect the heck out of that. I think that the three that always lived together that I saw all the time was Wing Chun, Hung Gar, and Choi Li Fut. And those three always kind of lived in the same community. And I have no experience in the other two. We have a guy out here, Chris Childs in Chicago, who is like a Choi Li Fut master. He's just fantastic. I love his content. But I like Hung Gar, and I like Choi Li Fut, and I love Wing Chun. Talk about leveling up your martial arts. So that's what you do. How do we level up our martial arts? So that's a general statement, but give us your streamlined concept of what you're doing to, with your mind. You've got analytical mind, a structured mind, youth, fitness, you're bringing it in. You're obviously going to have a heavy opinion on how to change and level up martial arts. What's your passion for doing that? Now, what's the methodology? Where do you see it going?
So what my opinion about leveling up martial arts is, first, you can learn forms, but you have to translate into fighting, and you have to do chaotic sparring for this. If you don't do this, then you have to be honest about what you're learning. So that's the first one. The second one is developing the body. That means you need to do some strength training. The first part is going to be with your own body weight, because that's a natural thing, push-ups, pull-ups, whatever dips. You can do this at home, but at some point you need to go into a direction where you put external resistance. Because with martial arts, that is a physical, I don't like the word, but I said it's a physical sport. And when it gets physical, your body can get broken. So the best thing to prevent that is to make the body stronger. How do you make it stronger? By putting it under load. We know that from strongman. When you watch strongman documentaries, those dudes put the average male adult, the average male obese adult, with one hand over the top. That's crazy. And what you're doing then is you're going to make your tendons, your ligaments, all the things that are in your body, you change them over time to get stronger. And that's basically what Kung Fu means. It's hard work over time, right? So lift weights, sparring, learning the forms, learning what is in the forms. And then it's also, it's not just the two of us, but it's also about community. And I think a lot of younger people, so to speak, don't care about this. Because when you go to an MMA gym, you come there, you train, you go home, and then that's it. Okay. It's if it's that what you want to see or what you want to experience, then that's fine. But there's maybe more, and you're maybe missing out something.
What do you enjoy more? Do you enjoy in Wing Chun, we have the realistic Wing Chun, then I call it the movie Wing Chun, right? And I'm not going to lie, I love Chi Sao. I love movie Wing Chun. I don't like to fight. Fighting, that's a conundrum, because I love to fight, but at the same point in time, too, I'm older, it hurts, and the damage you do to another human being is bad, right? And so and I've talked about this, people who have been in a sport fight is one thing. When you've really been in that, I've been in street fights. Everybody who claims that stuff is ridiculous. If you've been, it's like people who have been in war, they don't talk about it because it's bad. when you've been in a street fight and you've really just felt the person you become to defend yourself is a very, very mentally vile place, because there are no rules. You don't know what the other person's doing. You're emotionally getting involved in the fight because that's what, got you in the fight in the first place. If you were level headed, you'd be like, okay, yeah, you're drunk. My wife's a whore, whatever. I'm going to go home.
Yeah.
But if you got to that place, it's a bad place to be. So I don't like going to that place, but I'm capable. But I love the chi sao. I love, doing the drills in Wing Chun. I love pretending, it's like Donnie Yen's Ip Man movie 17. Which side do you love or enjoy in your martial art? The real application of it, or do you love the, as Light Burley calls, the fantasy fu, where we can display our art and actually, almost movie-esque choreograph it?
So, yeah, that's a tough one, because from my social media, especially from Instagram, I know for a fact that people want to see me do forms. I don't know why, because I think, or maybe it's just because they expect Kung Fu is like this. But I would love a place where it is accepted just as a martial art, like any other that fights on regular basis, because that's what we do. But I think it's, I don't know, maybe it's sorry to say that, but it's about to blame the people and maybe also the movie industry, because that's one of the reasons why people look down, because they think, oh, this Kung Fu, I know it from the movie Ip Man, beating up 10 black belts in a row. Oh, but this doesn't look like this, so it must be bad. Okay, then, but it's maybe not to blame the style, maybe it's to blame the person looking, having false thoughts in their mind, what they are going to see.
Talk about that in the community. You've been going through critiques. What are you enjoying? Whose content are you enjoying? I mean, I appreciate that you like mine, but
Yeah, sure.
let's do this. What do you like about my content versus other Wing Chun, or what don't you? And I'm very open to criticism. What don't you like about my content versus other Wing Chun? And then I want to hear about what you like and what you're critical about, because I think people know I'm very openly critical. I think when people are kind of like level-headed and they introduce the passion like you, where you're kind about your criticism, I do want to hear what your open criticism is about other stuff that you've seen. So we'll start with mine. What drew you into liking my content? And then if you could adapt, change, or do whatever to my content, what would you do?
So what I like about your content is, I think I was drawn in, the first reaction that I did on your videos is, I don't know why, Wing Chun sucks or something, or that's what I called it. But you basically talked about what the flaws are in modern day Wing Chun. And it really resonated with me, because you were showing a man that's like almost looking like a bodybuilder. And you said, yeah, go and try yourself the Wing Chun there. You're going to be fucked, so to speak. And this is really what I think as well, because when you do martial arts and you're not in shape, then you can feel whatever you want. You're gonna suck that punch. And that's what I like about your content. Maybe what I don't like is, I don't know where this is coming from, this Thomas Marks thing. I don't know. I really don't know. But now also his videos get popped up on my page. And I also watched some videos from Black Rhino Martial Arts, because you shouted him out in a video. And really, this is not my philosophy to call out other people, but I'm not sure if I'm not going to do it eventually, because some stuff in Kung Fu is really not great, and I want to make it great again, so to speak. Maybe I have to do it, but I don't want to do it, but you see where I'm going with this.
I told Howard from Black Rhino Martial Arts, don't go down this path. And then I told him like a couple weeks ago, I'm like, I'm just shouting at the wall here because you're going down this path, and it's working for him. But then again, too, so that's where we are with the online community, where when I first started doing it, and I found this video of me giving like Philip Redmond glowing praise, right? And then now it's like, I think he's human garbage, because the online community has given us all a safe place to attack each other. And I never wanted this. I've always tried to be so respectful of everybody. That's the mid-30s version of me. Now it's like, I don't care. Thomas Marks is another one where if you're going to sit in a studio and just critique everybody and say, all you got to do is eye jab and this and that, then I think it's fair game to go, okay, well, your stuff it's wrong. It is garbage because the problem is all of us have a responsibility if we're going to be given this stuff, which blows me away. We're on social media for free teaching people how to hurt other people. It's like,
it's ridiculous in the first place.
Right. So there's part of me going, all right, there's got to be a liability factor here that somebody hasn't thought of. So that's why I'm like, when I'm talking this stuff, it's always, this works for me. I don't know if it's going to work for you. You know, Thomas Marks is like 6'3", and so I just eye jab. But that may work on me because I'm 5'7". But what if I'm wearing eye goggles now? You know, now I know where's your eye jab going to go. So I don't like I don't like black and white, and that's even in my community. And hopefully you've heard it, but I try to count this all the time as anytime I say something in my YouTube videos, it's, you know, this is how this is, and it works for me. I don't know if it's ever going to work for you. So yeah, that's always been a big problem. But the other factor is that we know that the ultimate goal to pass on our content is education, right? We want to educate people. How do you do that? You have to engage people. If you go to class and you sit down and it's a boring content, your mind is not going to be stimulated. How do you engage people? You have to entertain them. I found out a long time ago, well, I'm good at controversy. I speak my mind, and that entertains people. It engages them, and then hopefully I can educate them more. Sadly, I think it's far more entertaining for a lot of people than it is for education's sake. How has the rest or any other community or other arts been that you've enjoyed on this journey of yours? Is there any others that you look at, any other styles that you look at and go, all right, I like this and there is value of this? Or are you very, very, very much like, I'm not open-minded. I think I've talked about this a million times. I have no desire to take BJJ. I've done all the wrestling I want to do. Wing Chun lives in wrestling space. I'm fine with that. End of story. When you look at other content, does your, again, engineer mind really differentiate and sever the difference between other stuff and your stuff? Or do you feel yourself incorporating more content that you're consuming and improving or modifying your hangar?
Yeah, actually have to say that I'm not watching very much Kung Fu technical content, and I'm trying to also limitate what I watch on social media because it's time consuming, and I want to be more on the creator side than on the consumer side. So that's some path that I chose to be. But people that I watch online, Ramsey Dewey, that's, I think, really a great man. He comes from a Taekwondo, traditional martial arts, so to speak, background, does now MMA, has an MMA gym in China. And I really enjoy his like philosophy and what he's teaching and what he's saying just about martial arts. And that is, I think, really a great person to listen to and also to learn stuff from. So he has some like techniques or so that I'm looking on trying to do then for my own. But apart from that, I think it's more edutaining, I would call it, content that I consume nowadays.
Good. All right, let's change gears and let's go into fitness because that's important. Yeah. You just stemmed on something. Yeah, I'm strong. I know I am. I was just talking the other day. I changed my diet, right? I'm 5'7", and I'm 223 pounds, and a lot of it is overweight. If you look at some of my videos from over the summer, I'm thick. I mean, I'm looking at I have a big midsection. I'm built like a power lifter, and I'm looking at it going, damn, how did I get? So I was on testosterone, eat carbohydrates like a son of a bitch, whatever. If I get my hands on you, it's a bad day. But if you can outlast me for 15 seconds, I'm going to be, and you're going to win the fight. So I'm modified. I'm off tests. I've been 4 months off everything. I've been on the carnivore diet that has eliminated bloat. I have a flat stomach. Strength has not gone away. And my mental health is a lot more improved. We know the benefits for mental health when it comes definitely for fitness. I want to hear about your passion, your methodology for fitness and fighting and especially Kung Fu, because most of the masters, especially in Wing Chun, don't recommend you lift weights because it will slow you down. So I want to hear, you're clearly passionate about fitness. Talk about how fitness on all the levels, mental health, nutrition, what it does for you, lifting heavy weights. You don't hear another Kung Fu person advocate lifting heavy weights, and everybody's given me shit for that over the years. Does it slow you down? I want to hear what you have to say about all this.
Does it slow it down? Yeah, maybe at a point where you're looking like Jay Cutler.
Yeah,
if you're familiar with this, or Ronnie
yeah.
Coleman. Yes.
Well,
then
Flex
for sure,
Wheeler,
but-
Flex Wheeler was a black belt in Taekwondo, I believe.
Oh yeah, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Cool.
Michael Jai White. I mean, he's built
Yeah, for
huge.
Sure, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. No, it doesn't slow you down. No, for us normal people, no, for sure not. Because there's also something I want to talk later about testosterone that you mentioned, because that's not so easy in Switzerland, but later on that. So first, diet, eating. So we know protein is important. A lot of people in the martial arts community swear for the carnivore diet. Also my instructors. Carnivore, keto also is very big. And it can work. I tried it for, I think, what was it? 1.5 years to 2 years.
Oh,
and
wow.
I got the leanest I've ever been. And I lost like 20 kilograms of body fat, was shredded as hell. But for me, mentally, it didn't work out. Maybe I wasn't trying hard enough. I don't know.
That's a long time. I've only been doing it less than 3 months.
Yeah, the thing is with the ketogenic diet, that is, you have to get into this ketosis, that you need to get your body into the zone of so you don't need carbohydrates anymore. You need now the fat. And this takes some time. You also have something like the keto flu that happens in the first like couple of weeks or months even. And even after like a year or two, my instructor, when he changed his diet, he really had like this sickness because he was used to eating carbohydrates as a fuel. And if you do something for like 40 years and then you say your body's no, nothing from this anymore, he's going to rebel. It's that. But what I think is like the most important thing is that you have to figure out what works for yourself and your goals. So if you are a person who can live with more fat and lesser carbs, if you're okay with that, with your mental health, then okay, go this direction. If you need some carbs, then okay, go this direction. But never go short on protein. That's what basic fitness 101 eating habits is. What about mental health now? Okay, so there's a lot of fun TikTok videos where you see people, okay, first 3 months in the gym, first year in the gym, first 4 years, and then the advanced lifters. So it's the same with Kung Fu and martial arts. You evolve over time because first you do whatever you want. And then you find yourself, okay, now I have a target. I see I can bench, or I'm good at benching. Bench press. So then you have a goal and you train now for this goal. So you have something in your mind that you want to achieve. So this changes then your way of doing things, because okay, then you maybe are not going to run because you want to go in this weight session now. And this reprograms the head, because you now have clearly something in your head that you want to achieve. And yeah, that's like basically, there's a lot of other things like in fitness, sleep habits. Do you have a stressful day? I mean, supplementation, we could go on for years in this direction. That's really something interesting, but also overcomplicated, because fitness is not that hard. You have to get a good amount of sleep. You have to eat properly, protein, vegetables, whatever, then carbs or fats, whatever you prefer. And you have to exercise, you have to lift weights, and that's it.
One of the things that I found out that Wing Chun did was it actually made me stronger, because I understood the focal point of where I was moving the weights from. In fitness, we call it the primary driver. So if my hand is on a bench press and I'm pushing, it's like with boxing. Boxing, what do they do? They throw hands, right? They're throwing hands. In Wing Chun, we put that emphasis in the elbow when we're driving our elbow forward. So I was so blown away the day I'm in the gym, and I was always strong, but then my lifts would go up even more because I'm laying on a bench and my intent then is in my elbows, and I'm driving my elbows forward. I'm going, oh my gosh. And then when I'm sitting and doing rows, a seated row or bent over rows, I'm then pulling with my elbows, and that intent changes. So for me, that lifting heavy, like I don't do a CrossFit type of training. I wanted to, but my mind, and I don't know if you have a problem with this, it is still, I train 7 days a week, because if I found out that if I take a day off from the gym, it'll turn into a week. I will find that excuse. If I eat a carb, like, okay, well, I'll take the week off and I'll eat carbohydrates. And so I'm an extremist, and I hate that about myself. So my workouts are the same. I have, and it's a 3-day rotation, a nonstop, chest and triceps. Sometimes I'll throw in shoulders, a leg day, and then back and biceps, and then repeat and repeat. Now I'm 40, I'll be 48 next month. And coming off that testosterone, my mind was, shit, you're not going to recover as fast, and maybe you got to lighten up. But then being on the carnivore diet, my body's like, I'm not sore. Go back and do it again. So a couple different things is, my martial art actually helped me with that one plane range of motion, bench press, squat, row. I don't know if it would help out with, like, because I want to do the CrossFit, but my mind just, I can't get into it. I can't break. Yeah, 40 something. I started training a gym when I was 15 years old. So it's, it's coming up on over 30 years. Like, shit, now what do I do? How do you, when you teach people, based again, are you dead set in your way and you only teach them how to lift weights one way, or do you adapt if you have a martial arts student and their body composition? And then when it comes down to hormones, and then so it's a 3-part question. Do you teach people based on their ability, or how do you train as well as your ability with where your martial arts dictated it as well too? Did your martial arts improve your lifting weights? And did weights improve your martial arts? Not fighting, but your martial arts. And then, we could talk about hormones and nutrition, the importance of that.
So I'm not what you would call like a teacher. So I don't have like students. I assist with kids classes, but the plan is to go into 2 to 3 years, a little bit more into this teaching direction. So this, what I really want to make clear, that I'm not a Sifu, and I don't want to come over as one.
Your mind, though, if you, I appreciate that. I respect that. But if you're going to be teaching, you are a teacher. It's just what it is. And we value that. So that being said, if you consume this all the time, you're putting your passion out there. That by default, others will give you the title of teacher. So you're fine.
Yeah, it has happened, but I always say so. Thank you for the honor. Okay, but I'm not. But yeah, I appreciate. But okay, so to your questions, it doesn't make sense to stick it in one way, because everybody's built different, especially in fitness. Everybody has different angles here. Everybody has a shorter, a longer forearm, a shorter, a stronger quadriceps, so to speak. So you need to change things, and not only for body mechanics, but also people living different lives. Okay, so a dude is maybe working in night shifts. He's working security, he's working in the night, so he has to go to the gym in the morning. So you have to take this into account. So when is he going to sleep? So he's going to sleep in the day. So there's maybe an issue. People are sitting at the desk 9 to 5. So, okay, they might have a problems with their lower back, with their hamstrings, because they are short or they're tensed, whatever. So this is something else to address. So for me, it doesn't make sense if I would teach this. Just, this is my way. You need to do this when you want to learn from me. It's not logical for me. You get that?
Mm-hmm.
So this is like the approach I would see. And what made it better, or went my martial arts skill up with my weight training, or vice versa? Yes, actually, because what you learn in weight training, when you go a little bit more, when you get it more serious, not just like this 3-month mark, and then you drop out. What needs to be happening is that you get a mind-muscle connection. So when you do the squat, you need to focus yourself on the legs. And you really need to focus. Okay, think about the quadriceps now. This is now the muscle that we are working. And if you do this, then you get a feeling for your body. And I mean, martial arts is just feeling the body, what happens with your body. It's the study of the body. So these are actually more close than people think, because it's mind-muscle connection. Both are more or less the same. When you throw a punch, you know, okay, this muscle is going to happen. This muscle needs to be activated now. When you have your stance, okay, your legs feel like this. And I see this because when you have something new coming to your dojo, your Kwon, and you tell them, okay, go in this stance, right foot in front, left foot there, your hand is going to be this. 90% of the people don't know what to do because they don't know where their legs are.
Mm.
They don't have a feeling for like, okay, move this limb in this direction. They don't have the feeling of, okay, tense now this muscle to do this movement. And that's what weight training teaches us, what we can use in martial arts.
Oh, I never thought of it that way because, yeah, all sports, all movements start in the legs. That's one of the big reasons why, too, people don't like to be taken down. Yeah, you wanted to talk about testosterone. What was your query about testosterone?
Yeah, because I'm really open-minded to all different things, but I see a lot of, especially in the fitness scene, a lot of influencers taking steroids to sell products. But yeah, what they look like is not achievable with the product. But I'm wondering from a different perspective. I'm wondering, you're now, what you say, 47 years of age?
Yeah, I'll be 48 March 15th.
Yeah, 48. So I have heard that it can make sense to supplement a slow dose of TRT after the age of 40.
Yeah, I started at 39. I had always wanted to think about going on something, but I never did. I actually, when I was 26, I ordered. I spent $500 on, and here I am. I got these needles, and I've got this. I had equipoise, testosterone, and something else I don't remember, and I threw it all in the garbage because I was just like, I was terrified of. I just turned to be a cop too, and I'm like, shit. I take this, and they piss test me. I'm done. So I threw away $500 worth of stuff. Never did it. And then when I turned 39. My mindset went in the gutter, right? Because I'm like, dude, I just don't want to train anymore. And I've got, I at 37, I was showing off in the gym, and again, 165 pounds. The video where you saw me with Kevin, I think it was 38 at that point. So that was a year after the fact. So that's the size I was, 5'7", about 165 pounds, and I was very strong. And the couple of guys who were in the gym were flat benching with 125 pound or 120 pound dumbbells. I'm not sure what that converts to kilograms. So I'm like, this is nothing. I could do this. And I typically did it. So I grabbed two 120s and laid back, banged out 6 reps. I was like, okay, that's great. The next day, that day I had to go teach class. And I remember after class, I had to drive home with my arm behind my head like this. It was this searing pain I had. Long of the short of the story is I pinched a nerve in my neck and it shut my tricep off. So there are videos on my YouTube channel. You could see my arm, my left arm is shapely. My right arm is like just straight because there was no signal being sent to my outside head tricep. And I couldn't do a push-up. For 2 weeks, I had to sleep sitting on the floor with my back against the bed because I was in so much pain. There's a condition called cervical radiculopathy where people like me we have pinched nerves, and then every 5 different points between my shoulder blade, the inside of my bicep, and then down my forearm. During wintertime especially, it will be so much pain, it'll be unbearable. So long and short story is it took a year to be able to do a push-up. A year. The left side was fine, but I'd be like, I was like, this is insane. I'm bench pressing all this and can't do it. So when I got back into it, there's a picture I took of myself, all atrophy, complete atrophy. I got a gut. I have no musculature whatsoever. And I'm like, I'm going to start going back to the gym. Started going back to the gym, and my mindset wasn't there. And a friend of mine's like, dude, get your hormones tested. So I go to a doctor, and he draws my blood, and he goes, yeah, normal man's testosterone is between 800, 900, 1,000. He goes, yours is 140. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
So I got on testosterone, and I'm very open about this. I started he had prescription wise, he had me on 100 milligrams of test cypionate a week. And again, I'm not a doctor. I'm telling you what I've done. And then HCG, which is like the hormone that women secrete when they're pregnant. And I was like, okay, this is great. But my mindset is, if a little's good, more is better. So, because this was the then that was the number one reason I never wanted to do it when I was a younger man, because I knew that I had no impulse control over shit. So, I did a couple different things. I got on Deca Durabolin, which immediately took away all the pain in my neck, and I was like, oh my God, that was the greatest thing in the planet. There's videos of me where my face is so round because I got on Anadrol 50, and I was taking 50 milligrams of that a day, and I just ballooned up. I went from 165 to 200 in like 3 months. It was insane. But I got moon face. And long or the short of the story is, I never went crazy with my dosages. I tried Trenbolone. I don't like it. Because if you cut a hole in a tree and you put a wig on it, I would probably try to mount it. My libido was out of control. And I never went over 300 milligrams of testosterone a week, because if my reason for not doing that is weird. I wear suits Monday through Friday. And the problem is I spent so much money on suits and shirts that the bigger I get, I don't fit in them. So I'm like, I'm not buying another $5,000 worth of suits. It's ridiculous. So I kept it under control. And what I found works best for me, I'm just not recommending this for people, is low testosterone. 200 milligrams a week is high for me. At 300, I was bloated. Those are the videos you see me where I'm just like thick as heck. That is 300 milligrams of testosterone and nothing else. Nothing else. I don't do like people talk about Winstrol to cut up. I'm not a bodybuilder. I'm a recreational trainer who enjoys the feeling of youth and feeling good. 200 milligrams of test is enough for me. If I ever got back on anything again, it probably would be Deca again, because of the qualities of pain removal, but I wouldn't go over 300 milligrams of that a day. And that's what the guys in the 70s used, right? And that's why there's so much a difference between the look of then and today. I don't understand this concept of everybody in their youth using it. That's their prerogative. I'm not a fan of these. Are you natty or not? What does it matter? It's a hormone. You know, I mean, if you and I are both going to run a race, I drink coffee and you don't, do I have an advantage? I'm so tired of this crap. But the supplement industry, it's always been a joke to where, take this supplement. I grew up in the Joe Weider era, where, oh my God, the amount of money I spent on that stuff when I was before your age, I was like 16, 17, was ridiculous. So ultimately, I think when you hit your late 30s, early 40s, so from 45 to 47 was just testosterone. That's it. Nothing else on there. And I just came off everything 4 months ago. I feel good. Now my mind is going, shit, if I had done testosterone while properly having nutrition, I wonder where I would have been. So anybody who says it a million times, I'm sure you'll advocate this, 100% has to do with your nutrition. I think where I'm very thankful is I came off cold turkey. I didn't do any type of any replacement to wind up leveling off my test levels, but I came off cold turkey and drastically changed my diet in the opposite direction. So for me, sleep improved. I am an entrepreneur, so sleep also is very erratic, but it improved the sleep I did get. And then the no strength loss in the gym. I'm training smarter because I do have fear being older of tearing a pec and tearing a bicep. So I don't flat bench with 120s anymore. I use a lot more machines now than I used to. So my diet and my nutrition, my nutrition and my sleep, I'm really honing in, because when I do go back on testosterone, because I will go back on TRT, I want to see if there's a better result for that. So ultimately, I think that men my age should be on testosterone replacement therapy, but they should really watch their diet.
Yeah, that's the first thing, diet and sleeping habits. Yeah, sure. But it's funny that it's also what I have in mind. 100 to maybe 200 milligrams is what I've heard for this kind of purpose. Because what I think for myself is the benefit of doing this is when you hit the gym and you are in your 40s, in your 50s, and you are on TRT, you are going to preserve your muscle strength, and which we know is a good factor for youth. So if you don't want to age that fast, maybe it can be worth having a look at this. So always go with a professional. Don't listen on us both here.
Right.
But or why I wanted to bring up this question is because, man, in Switzerland, that's not going to work. That a doctor is prescribing you something like this.
I have no idea. You know, I mean, there's the people go in the black market. That's how it's done. But again, too, the quality. I've always wondered. Like I did do 2 rounds of Tren, and that everybody loves that stuff. I didn't like it. The Tren cough, yeah, you get it immediately. You inject it in. I didn't like the frequency I had to inject. With being on testosterone, I broke it up to twice a week, which was nice. Tren, it's every other day or it's every day, and that stuff goes right into your system, and you hack up a lung for 30, 60 seconds. It's ridiculous. I don't like and it's immediate. You get immediate results, but they last as long as you're on it. And then once you're off it, it starts to fade away. So I'm like, yeah, it's great for a photo. Awesome. I don't like my overact without anything. I have an overactive libido, but when you imply, like, Tren really amplifies everything. I'm an ass, but it didn't turn me into a bigger ass. It just turned me into somebody who was, you know, just more, I didn't like it. I just didn't like it is I guess the bottom line of it. What I really liked, are the 3 basics. I liked, D-ball, but Diana ball, but I got bloated on that. 25 milligrams a day is what I was taking. Deca, 300 milligrams, and then test 200 milligrams. I like that combination. That's where my body reacted the best at. But again, my nutrition was horrible. And I'm at my biggest, thickest, densest, strongest, but I got a gut out to here because I'm eating all these carbohydrates, and it's bad. Bad. All right, let's got a couple minutes left here. Let's talk about the direction that your YouTube channel is going, the stuff you want to teach. Let's promote that. Give everybody a call to action. Where can they find you? Where can they support you? How can they do all that stuff? And let's talk about the future for all the content you've got going on.
So Kung Fu Sthenics on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. There's some stuff planned. I like to do like anime training videos because I'm a big fan of at least martial arts animes. So there's something coming up. I have a weekly like format of where I react to martial arts documentaries, always on a Sunday, because, man, I love watching documentaries, and I thought, why not film it? So it's a win-win.
Wow, yeah.
I'm thinking about going live for this, but for that I would need to have a better PC, a better setup with 3 monitors and so on. And this needs money, so I need to afford it. So I need to wait a little bit on that. And I want to go crazy into this teaching direction. I did some videos with Sifu Brian Cottle. He's actually a Cholifat instructor. So we have Cholifat, me, Hungar, and now you, Wing Chun. So we have the 3 together.
Yeah. I have to get him on for one. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Kung Fu Sthenics. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, and I'm gonna do some more videos with him because he also is living in Switzerland, but he also travels to America. And yeah, that's what I think it's going to be doing. It's also going to be some fitness related content, but I'm gonna see how much I go into this direction because it doesn't resonate that much, or from the views perspective, I think people in the martial arts community don't want to know this, but I want to share it.
Yeah, the
important.
The traditional martial arts guys just don't seem to like fitness. I just don't understand it.
I don't know what. Because it's maybe hard.
They want that fantasy foo of just sitting there, and then the energy of your punch comes out, and it's good.
Exactly.
You're not fit.
I want to feel the stuff.
I tell you, I think I'm more skilled now than I was at 37. 47-year-old me is more skilled than 37. 47-year-old me is definitely stronger than 37-year-old me.
Yeah, sure,
but 37-year-old me could kick 47-year-old me's ass because I was in better condition then. So it's like, dude, that's so important. All right, Kung Fu Sthenics, I appreciate you taking the time out on a Saturday night for this. I'd love to have you on again.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, guys, make sure you go follow Kung Fu Sthenics and show some love and support. Again, this is Them's Fighting Words, and we're going to continue to do this. I appreciate all you guys, and we'll see you on the next video.